Hello?
What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, hey, Ghostface. That's a great question. I actually saw a horror film today. But with an ending like that, I wouldn't say it's my favorite scary movie by any means. But I do think I enjoyed it more than I expected. Ghostface? Ghostface? Hey guys, I'm Jax, and this is my spoiler review for Scream 7. In this video, I am going to full-on spoilers, the killers, the twists, the turns, the reveals, the revelations. It's going to be a big, long breakdown of the entire film. I'm going to lead up and explain all the things throughout the film. There has been a bit of boycotting of this film due to the controversies from 6 leading into this and all that stuff. I'll mildly discuss that. I do talk more about that in my spoiler-free review. If you don't want to have any spoilers, and there are some big spoilers, check that review out for what I think. But if you just want to know the big spoilers, I'm doing a full breakdown right now. But if you just want to know a thing, maybe, I'm not going to say it straight away, but like, there is a thing where it's like either a yes or a no of this film, where if you've heard anything about this film and the production of it and casting and all that kind of stuff, if you just want to know that, I'll put a time code where I get to that bit. But if you want to know the whole film because you've boycotted it and you don't want to know, or if you've just seen it and would love to see a Scream fanatic fan, Richie style, break down what I loved and what I didn't love about this film, join me now as we deep dive into Scream 7. I was surprised by how much I loved the film. Really liked it. The opening scene is one of the best. Incredible. Really great film. Really fun. Neve Campbell is the main character again. Feels like the first time since Scream 2 she's the main character. She's fantastic. Gail Weathers is great. The gore, the kills are really gory and brutal and violent. There's some actual spooks and scares. But like, it's all teasing a mystery, which I was kind of enjoying. And then the reveal at the end is, there's no other way to put it, it's fucking awful. Terrible, terrible, terrible twist reveal at the end. These are the worst killers in the franchise. This is the worst motive for killers in the franchise. And it's a shame because throughout the film, it's doing something real interesting. And then it just fucks it. Really fucks it. There's a twist as well halfway through the movie that I thought was genius. And then by the end, I'm like, just, who cares? Who cares? Because the end of the movie is terrible. So the rest of the movie feels like, it's frustrating because so much that was working now potentially just doesn't work. So let's stop tiptoeing about it and deep dive into the spoilers of Scream 7. As I said, if you want to know spoiler-free thoughts and deep dive into what didn't and doesn't work, all that stuff, check out the spoiler-free review. This is full spoilers, so I'm going to ruin everything. Please go away if you don't want to know. 3, 2, 1. So, this film is essentially the entire plot. The mystery of this film is Stumaka alive and the killer, or is he not? So the way this kind of plays out, immediately the film opens, incredible cold open, at Stumaka's house, and it's now become like it's so funny. It's like exhibition / murder house / Airbnb. It's really crazy and fun. And this guy who's super excited about it all goes there with his girlfriend. And he's like, I love this. This is the coolest house ever. He's taking photos and selfies being like, running and like silly stuff like that. He loves this house. Every place in the house. He's like, oh my God, this is the part in stab 1 or stab 5 when this happened and this. And he's losing his mind. But what really makes the scene so good is it keeps just cutting to his girlfriend. And she's not like an Uber fan as well. She's just the reluctant girlfriend who's there because like, I don't know, man, what else is she going to do? It's her boyfriend, I guess. And she's just like, oh God, this sucks. And she just hates it. And it's really funny. All of that opening scene, it's glorious. It's, I hate to say this, it's the best part of the film. It's so good. It's so meta. It's everything that Scream does well. And especially now we're up to Scream 7, incorporating so many of the other Scream films and the Stab films and the legacy of this in-universe franchise and Sidney Prescott's life. And it just does silly fun things in this exhibition murder mystery / Airbnb house. Like the phone rings and he picks it up and it's like this guy doing the Ghostface voice, but he's like kind of like he's like heart's not in. He's like, like, what's your favorite scary movie? oh, if we do 3 questions and if you get them wrong, I kill you or whatever. And there's a fun play on a trick question was the 3rd one, and all this kind of stuff that goes on. And at the end, he's like, I guess you got it right. I guess I can't kill you or anything. And he's just heart's not in it. He just feels like a guy at work who's got the voice modulator on, just like on the phone. He's like, I guess you got to do it. And at the end, he's like, just remember to give us 5 stars. Just really fun, like joyous, like the movies. And of course, the real Ghostface rocks up and he kills them all, and it's really fun, and it's extremely violent and really gory and brutal. Stabs in the heads. He pours gasoline on the girl before lighting her on fire, and he burns the whole place down. And it's like, oh man, we're burning it all down. Who could this Ghostface be that wants to burn down Stu Marker's house? Maybe that leads into the mystery of this film. And throughout that, where they're looking through the house, he keeps looking at like the Stu stuff, and she's like, that's where Stu died. I'm pretending I care. Oh, I hate this. And she's just like, her heart's not in it. She's just here for her boyfriend. It's very funny dynamic. And he keeps looking at Stu's like the white outline on the ground, and the TV's there. It's all staged and stuff. And he's like, well, if you listen to that podcast, you know that Stu's definitely still alive. And there's lots of heavy-handed lines like that early in the murder house. And then Ghostface rocks up, kills them, and then burns down Stu's house. Very violent scene, lots of fire, very great scene. That is the best scene in the movie. It's incredible. It's actually so very good. It's a 10 out of 10 scene. Loved it. And it puts that little trickle into your mind where you go, okay, so we are doing the Stu thing. I had heard rumors that Stu was coming back, the actor, Shaggy himself. He's coming back. I heard that. Then you go, are they just saying that? Like, obviously with the firing of Melissa from Scream 5 and 6, then you lose Jenna Ortega, and then like the directors, radio silence, they're gone. So like in a desperate Hail Mary, you grab the original writer, Kevin Williamson, bring him back into this franchise and go, could you direct it? I know you're not a director, and it feels like a Hail Mary pass, like getting J.J. Abrams back again for a Rise of Skywalker after the controversy of Last Jedi. It feels very desperate. It kind of reminds me of Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Doctor Doom. It doesn't feel like a creative, inspired choice. It feels like a desperate Hail Mary. Like, it feels desperate and needy, and you're like, oh, grab the things from the past that everyone loves. And hopefully the fans will forgive us for firing this lady in a horribly controversial and terrible decision. Terrible decision. Hopefully they forgive us for not giving Neve Campbell the money she deserved in 6. That's why she's not in it. They didn't want her to have a happy ending. They just didn't pay her. And she's like, I'm worth money. Of course she is. It's Neve Campbell. It's Sidney fucking Prescott. So now they threw all the money at her, all the money at Kevin. They've brought him all back. His direction, spoilers, is actually pretty good. I was pretty surprised. No offense, Kevin. My expectations were pretty fucking low. You did a good job directing. It's all story, which is funny because he's a writer. He's the writer for Scream. The story and the writing is not up to scratch at the end. And so, sorry. I'm overheating with passionate feeling. I hate to say it. I'm like sitting here being like, I'm reminding myself of Richie from Scream 5, where I'm like, I don't think they understand how much these movies are good, and they shouldn't have fucked it. But it's not that big of a deal. The movie's fun and fine and whatever. But it is a frustrating film. It could have been better. So Neve Campbell's back. She's the main character. She's incredible. She's genuinely really, really great. And the whole film is about her and her daughter. And her daughter is the second main character. I liked some of her and I didn't like other parts. Throughout the entire film, essentially the main conflict is that Sydney doesn't want her daughter to go through a Scream film. So she's very overprotective. Her daughter, I can't remember her name. That says a lot about her character. She has a boyfriend, and obviously the boyfriend reminds Sydney of Billy. His first scene is literally coming through the window like Billy in Scream. And he literally says, I was watching Stab, and I remembered when your mum's boyfriend, who turned out to be a psychopath killer, climbed through the window. And I thought, how romantic. Should I do that? So I've done that. It's like, that's when the film's working. We're like, okay, we're leaning into this. We've burnt down Stu Marker's house. We've done all this really fun, silly stuff there. We're moving on. We're building up these characters. All of the main cast is essentially Sydney's daughter's friends. All of them are suspects. It's a Scream film, all that kind of stuff. Sydney's husband is played by Jeff Winger. He's great, not in it enough, but he's a cop. And I don't know, he's like the one character where like, it's not going to be him. So it's nice to have a few safeguards. Gal Weathers rocks up halfway. I'll get to that. She's great as well. Not in it enough. But like the film's kind of building up and you're kind of like, I'm having a bit of fun with this. This is all kind of working. And then the film kind of dives off a cliff. It plunges into unknown, can't go back from territory. And she's got a Ghostface killer call her. And he's like, "Do you miss me, Sydney? I'm back." And she's like, "Stop hiding behind a voice and a mask, you bitch." And like, she's all like, "No, no, no." And she comes back at him and essentially like, "Don't hide behind a mask." And he's like, "I'm not hiding this time." And it like, he puts on his voice caller ID or whatever. And it comes up on a computer. And it's just a shot of like the phone, you know, voice, like a, what do you fucking call it? FaceTime. Fuck. Oh my God. FaceTimes, and it's Stu. It's just like close-up film phone FaceTime of Stu. Stu Marker is back like 20 minutes into this film. It's crazy. And it's like, at first, it's like really jarring. He's all scarred up because of the TV and all this stuff. And he's all like, Shaggy himself is having an amazing time. Matthew Lillard. I know his name. He's having an amazing, delightful time. He's really, really fun. I think some of the dialogue's a bit like, ugh, but when we come to why that is later, it's like, okay, it makes sense. So Stu's there. He's on a FaceTime and he's all like, Sydney, I'm back. And he's going crazy. And she's like, oh shit, it's Stu. That's crazy. But like, it's so early in the movie that you go, well, that can't be what's happened because that's too early. I mean, I wish Scream 6, when they revealed that it was the bully from Peter Parker's bully from Spider-Man Homecoming, I wish we'd followed him for the whole movie. I think that would have been so interesting and fresh and a great new angle to take. But this film still wants to have that murder mystery, like whodunit situation. So almost immediately after seeing his face, it is then not, oh my God, Stu's back. It's like, is Stu back? Or is it AI? Is it deepfakes? And so essentially the whole film plays out. I won't scene by scene run through it and stuff because I don't want this video to go for 17 hours. But essentially, again and again and again, probably like 4 times throughout the film, we get moments where he's on like someone's phone and it's just a FaceTime and Stu's like, oh, you think I wasn't back? You think it's deepfake AI? Well, guess what? It's not. I am back. Rubbity-bubbity-ba. And he does that like a bunch of times. And every single time they keep talking to like kids or adults or whatever, whoever's around, and they keep going, AI can do this though, right? And then someone's like, yep, AI can do that. That's AI's crazy nowadays. And it's like, I guess it's modern and it's like of the times and of the era. It does feel kind of strange as a plot point because I remember in Scream 3, way back in the day, back in the ancient past of 2000, God forbid some people watching this video weren't even born then, which upsets me to my core. I don't think that should be allowed. So in 2000, in Scream 3, the voice modulator could mimic anybody's voice. It could even mimic Sidney Prescott's mother's voice, which felt like not only absurd sci-fi nonsense, but it felt like magic, like actual magic. Like it was so ridiculous. And I didn't like it then, and I still don't like it watching it now. It's really the only thing I don't like about Scream 3. That's right, this guy's a Scream 3 apologist. Some people probably just lost all respect for me, while some others are like, yeah, I'm awesome. We can finally come out of hiding. Scream 3 is objectively not the worst one now. It was never the worst one. Scream 6 was the worst one. But it's still... You think it's still the worst one, but... Oh boy, let's get into it. So essentially we keep going throughout the whole movie and Stu keeps rocking up, he's alive, in people's phones and stuff like that. And like, you know, they burn down Stu's house at the start and it starts to kind of be like... Could it be Stu? Like for a while, and as I was watching it, I'm like, oh, well, it's definitely not going to be him because it's so early. But then it kind of keeps playing in a way where you're like, is it a double bluff? Like, because it came so early and it's so obviously like everyone's like, it's deepfake, it's AI, 2026, then you kind of start going, shit, so it probably will be him. Like, and because there's a bunch of other could-be killers, all of Sydney's daughter's friends. There's a scene where all 3 of them are in a room with Mindy and Chad. Mindy and Chad from 5 and 6 come back. They come back with Gail halfway through the movie. And there's a scene with them talking with everybody. And they keep being like, there's like one creepy kid who's like, I love Stab. I'm so obsessed with Sydney. And she's like, you're so obvious that he's like, I'm too obvious. It can't be me. And then she's like, no, you're so obvious that it's too obvious people won't guess you. So that's why it will be you. And they keep doing lines like that and playing with a bit of stuff and talking. And Mindy does her classic... we're talking about the film. It's a meta scene, but it's very brief. I wish the film was more meta. The first scene's very meta. The rest doesn't feel very meta. But Mindy kind of says a few things that kind of make you go, maybe it is going to be Stu. That would be kind of crazy. Because at first she's like, it can't be Stu. That's stupid and dumb. Even for this franchise, at the 7th film, that's too much. But then goes, or is that exactly what should happen at this point? And so they're playing a bit of fun with it all. And it's interesting as an audience. I feel like everyone's going to go through a different roller coaster of being like, oh, I don't like this. Oh, I love this. Oh, I don't like this. I'm doing the opposite. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, I like this. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, I like this. And you go through it all, and it builds up and builds up. Halfway through the movie, there's a massive fight action set piece with Ghostface through the house with Sydney, her daughter, Jeff Winger. Jeff Winger gets taken out, but it's a stab movie, so spoilers. He's fine. He's the new Dewey, I guess. Everyone's the new Dewey. Chad and Mindy also get stabbed again and come back to life. I think I hated in Scream 6. I'm like, Chad's still alive. I don't accept that he's the new Dewey. Yet in this time, he gets stabbed, only once to be fair, but at the end he comes back, and I'm like, I love it! He's the new Dewey! I don't know why. I'm an idiot. I was talking to a mate like 2 days ago, and I'm like, I hate Chad. I hate how they think he's the new Dewey. Not funny. Now I'm like, I kind of love it. Stockholm Syndrome, one might say, for the Chad character somehow. I do think that Chad and Mindy coming back and hanging out with all the new cast, and how much I like these two characters I didn't like in 6, it worries and makes me think, oh, maybe the new cast is all terrible. Because if characters I didn't like rock up and I go, oh, I like this now, it's like, oh God, how bad are these new characters? What are all their names? I couldn't tell you for $1 million. If Ghostface called me right now and he's like, name one of the 3 friends of Sydney's daughter in Scream 7, I'd be like, just fucking pop out of my cupboard and kill me. I have no fucking idea. So back to the film. Halfway through the movie, there's a big action chase set piece and Ghostface is all like, stabby, stabby, doing the thing. Then the fight kind of like gets out into the street and it becomes like, it's going in a way where I'm like, I don't think a fight this early in the movie, we're right in the halfway mark of the movie. I don't know if a fight has gone over and taken so much time. It's hard to explain, but it's like, they're wrestling, Jeff's like on top of him, they're wrestling, they're pushing, they're like so close where I'm like, and I promise you, from what I'm about to say something else, I promise you this is what I thought before it happened, but I'm like, God, this would really set this film apart. If they killed Ghostface right now, that would just change the trajectory of the back half of the film. They've never killed a Ghostface this early. That would be really interesting. And lo and behold, they push Ghostface out into the road. He stands up and a truck comes by and runs him over and kills Ghostface halfway through the movie. It's incredible. And then the van opens up and none other, for the first time in the film, reveal Gale Weathers. She rocks up out of the car. It's incredible. And that's when Mindy and Chad rock up. They're now the only 2 people from Scream 5 and 6 that have carried over. I suppose they weren't that offended by the studios firing Melissa. And unlike Jenna Ortega, who can just go, I'm just doing Wednesday forever and other jobs, they're like, this is kind of the only thing that's good that we have. So I would love a paycheck. So they're now with Gale Weathers as her like new crew. You know how in each film she gets a new kind of guy holding the camera? That's now Chad and Mindy. I kind of loved it. It doesn't really make any sense. I don't know. They're just like, as I said, grabbing different pieces of everything and just hodgepodging it together to make some kind of Frankenstein of a script. But I kind of loved it. Kind of thought it was great. They're back. They've run over Ghostface. And she's like, it's Stu. It's Stu. And Gale Weathers is like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, it's not. And then they reveal the mask. And it's just some guy. And if you recall... you won't, because I'm explaining the film and I forgot to mention it. At the start of the film, we get all these introductions of all the characters, and Sidney Prescott works at a coffee shop, and one guy rocks up after all the main characters rock up, and then go, hey, I'm the new character in this movie. And you go, fuck, there's a lot of characters in this. And they all just have a scene with Sidney very quickly, and then one guy like gets the coffee. She's working at the coffee shop. He gets his coffee. He just goes like, just like a creepy face. And you go, that's funny. I actually think that's when the film was kind of working best, because I went, oh, that's really interesting. He won't come back, obviously, because she doesn't know who he is, and it's always someone you know. But, like, she is so still. Like, even though she's been isolated, she wasn't in Scream 6, she's lived this whole life in peace for a long time. She's still, like, just sees a person grabbing a coffee. And he's, like, not, like, the scariest looking guy, but he's, like, a little suspect. But you meet people like that on the street all the time. I'm sure some people walking past me think I'm that guy. Ooh, he's got a beard. Look at him. Ugh. Sus. But she's super paranoid about it, so it makes him seem sus. And I thought that was when the script was working really well, to show her kind of quiet paranoia that's leading into why she has so much kind of tension with her daughter, because she's just so closed off. But no, he was sus. He was the killer. So forget all that subtext. He was the killer. She was right to think he was sus. And then they go, oh my god, who was he? And then for the rest of the film, there's a bunch of stuff where Stu rocks up again on a phone, and he's all like, it's me, I'm Stu. Oh, you didn't kill me yet, or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm forgetting a little bit of minutiae in there. But essentially, the big plot point is they think they've killed Ghostface. Obviously, they haven't. Who's the second and last Ghostface? We then get to a point where Gale Weathers and Sydney decide to go investigate the psych ward, the mental patient hospital situation place where the killer was from. They find out the killer's name. He's killed a bunch of people. He's just essentially some random psychopath, some random crazy killer. He was living at a mental hospital. And so they go there and they meet some orderly or the janitor. I can't even remember, just some guy. I think it was a doctor or something. He worked there. He works at the hospital, and they're like, oh, we're coming to the room. He tried to kill us. Like, do you know this guy? And he's like, yeah, he just kept to himself. I don't know. And then like they get out their phone to show the deep fake of Stu, and they're like, oh, maybe it's really Stu. And they go, do you know who this is? And then the orderly is like, or the doctor or the janitor, what the fuck he was. Shows you how memorable he was. He goes, oh yeah, that's John. Oh, lost music. Oh my god, he's alive. That's John Doe. He stayed down like 3 rooms down. He's been in this mental hospital for 30 years. There's a bunch of bubbly backstory, a bunch of nonsense. It all sounds like lies. But then you go, shit, maybe we're just doing it. Maybe it's just going to be Stu's back. But the way they do it was like, oh, he had head trauma. We didn't know where he came from. He had amnesia for 30 years. He just got released 2 weeks ago. And it's all a little convenient. I never really truly bought it. So much so that I did forget who that guy was. Yeah, I forgot who that guy was. But you add him to the murder list. So you've got a murder list of Sydney's daughter's 3 friends. Friend A, friend B, friend C. Then you've got friend B's mum, who's the neighbor, who's had like 2 scenes. And then you have orderly guy. You have the theater teacher. There's a theater scene. It's incredibly brutal and gory. A great scene. Some of the kills and scenes are gruesome and incredible. Amazing scene. So you've got the teacher. He was there at one of the other kills, like standing in the background, watching as a bystander. As Sydney looks around, she's scared by everyone. You've got a bunch, like 6 or 7 people who it could be. And it's kind of like building up and ramping up. And you keep being like, is it Stu? Is it not Stu? And that's essentially the whole film again and again and again. Then Ghostface kills all of Sydney's daughter's friends. There's one scene where they're all together with Mindy and Chad, and they're like, it could be any of them. And then within 5 minutes, they all die. It's so fucking gory. There's a beer tap, and Ghostface picks up a guy, puts his head through the beer tap and turns it on. And so like blood and beer is pouring out of his mouth as his head's stuck on the thing. It's completely fucked. Really perverse and interesting and a crazy kill. There's a kill as well in like the theater earlier where a chick's on like wires being swung about and Ghostface is just lifting her up and down, swinging her, and she's flying about and he's just cutting and hacking above. And at one point he just kind of holds the knife and she swings past and all of her guts fall out. It's so gory. It's like a really gory fucked film. It's way gorier than the rest. 5 and 6 were pretty gory, but this was like creative, perverse gory. Like very Jason, very Freddy. Kind of a combination. More Jason, obviously, because it's not nightmarish. But, like, I thought the kills were pretty great. So, cut back to the present. All of them are dead. And then Sydney's daughter runs through the streets. And she's like, somebody help me. Some other scenes happen. I feel like I'm getting too caught in the weeds here. We then get to the final moments where Sydney gets a call. And her daughter, has been kidnapped by... Shit, maybe I'll go back. So, her daughter is running through the streets, and then we see another Ghostface. We have a bunch of other scenes. She shoots them like 50 times in the chest, but she misses the head. Mildly meta, but not really. Then it finds out that he didn't die, didn't hit the face. He stands up, then behind her, another Ghostface stands up. Twist, still 2 Ghostfaces, so there's 3 Ghostfaces. They kidnap Sydney's daughter, then Sydney gets a call. She goes to a house, and we get the big reveal scene. And it's kind of a lazy, uninspired callback to the first movie where they're like, like Drew Barrymore, go outside and we've got him strung up like Steve was. And like, she's in the chair, she's tied up, and it's just like the start of Scream 1. And then we get to the big reveal, which is ... not Stu. Spoilers. We got 45 minutes. I'll be cutting some of this. 30 to 45 minutes into this spoiler review, depending on how much I cut. We get into that it's not Stu. It's not Stu. It was never Stu. Stu is dead. And they say it a bunch. They're like, Stu's dead, you fucking idiots. Why do you think it was going to be Stu? It was deepfake AI. And my issue isn't that it's not Stu, because I hate this reveal. I hate it. It's not that it's not Stu. My issue is who it is. And who it is... one of the guys who's like, I don't know, like works at the psych ward. I don't know if he's a doctor or the janitor. I honestly can't remember. And Sydney Prescott's crazy neighbor, who really likes Sydney because she inspired her to kill her husband who was abusing her. And then Sydney decided to like live her life and be peaceful and not be in Scream 6. And so she went crazy and killed her son and all his friends, and doesn't like Sydney now because Sydney inspired her, but then she was sad that she's just like alive, and she's like, no, your whole life is trauma. You can't have a happy ending. I'm not really sure what was happening in the final act of this film. It's so lame. It's so pathetically underwhelming. It's incredibly uninspired. It feels like it comes out of fucking nowhere. It, like, the first time in this franchise, when the killer reveals the face, and you see that it's, like, the guy who worked at the psych ward, for, like, 30 seconds, I was like, who the fuck is that? Bro, who is that? Like, I've been watching this movie, like, I don't know who that is. And then he's like, remember me? And I'm like, no, who are you? It's kind of dark, but like, I feel like when you reveal the face in a Scream movie, you should be like, oh my God, it's them. Or like, I knew it was them. Of course. How didn't I see it coming? But you shouldn't be like, sorry, who? I just feel like, really, like nothing. He was in one scene. And like in hindsight, of course it was him. Earlier in the film, he is like, oh my God, it's Stu Marker. They show him a photo of Stu Marker and he's like, that's John Doe. He's been in the psych ward for 30 years. And blah. Gives a big backstory, and it's just really like obviously not Stu Marker. And so like, you just go, that's just a weird red herring. And you just forget about him because he's like a nothing character. The issue is like, they just all feel really nothing. They haven't given them the stuff where I went, so he must be in on it. And then when it's revealed why he's in on it, you're like, what? Why are you here? Like, I know sometimes the sidekicks are kind of like, I'm also here, huh? But it's like, this one really felt like they were like, we needed to have more than one person. And it's just so deflating, so uninteresting. My mind just like left. I just went, oh my God. Should have it been Stu Marker? I feel like it shouldn't have been. Like, I feel like bringing him back now in Scream 7 kind of changes the original Scream film in a weird way that I don't know if that retcon works. But then when you spend the entire film being like, Stu's back, but in this way where you're like, I kind of feel like it's clearly not Stu. The way with the deepfakes and the AI and all that stuff. He's always on a phone, all this stuff. Even the way it's framed, you just like, it just feels like that's what they're obviously implying. And it's just to mess with Sydney, all that stuff. So, like, at the end, when it's revealed not to be Stu, you're like, well, of course it's not Stu. But then with these reveals, just these nothing characters, it also feels kind of gross and strange, where it's just like, it's just a bunch of weird psychos that were in a psych ward. And you're like, it doesn't feel right. That feels a bit mean and awful. And just, I don't know, the tone of that doesn't really work for the film we've gotten. And you go, man, should it have been Stu Marker? I kind of feel like a lot of people were really excited to see Stu come back. You got your Stu fans, your Stu heads, and you got the part of the fandom that didn't want to see that. But I feel like by bringing him back for the whole film, you then kind of you cock tease all of these stew heads that want to see him come back. And then when it's revealed it's not him, you go, oh, that's really disappointing. But it's even more disappointing when it's like just some other guys that are just so underdeveloped and so uninteresting. And their motives are so bad. Her motive is so bad. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? What do you mean that's why she wants to kill her? Like, even as I'm saying it, I don't really fully just get it. I'm like, so she was a massive fan because Sydney wrote a book and she loved the book and it inspired her to kill her husband who sucked. But then, like, Sydney just lived her life and then she's like, what, do you want her to, like, write another book? Like, I don't understand. It felt so just like, what? It felt like they made it up on the day and then they went, I think that'll be fine. I think they'll just be appreciative that we brought the actor back of Stu, but, like, didn't actually bring back Stu as the character. And they'll be like, oh, that's clever, modern technology, deepfakes, AI. It just kind of feels annoying where they want to have their cake and eat it too. And it's a strange thing of, you know, by doing this whole Stu plot throughout the whole film, you're wanting to, like, have your cake and eat it too, but you can't please everybody because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You either bring back Stu and you annoy half the fan base who are like, that's too much. That's a retcon we can't have. And they even say that in the movie. They're like, that's too ridiculous for this franchise. Is it? It Scream 7, man. Scream 7. I think they could have done that. They were originally going to bring him back in 3 anyway. So this has been on the burner. I feel like maybe it just would have worked to just, if you're going to do it, do it. Don't, like, be like, it's Stu. And then just be like, you thought it was Stu, you fucking idiot. Why would it be Stu? And it's just frustrating because it's like, obviously you're never going to please everyone. You bring back Stu, half the people love it, half the people don't. You don't bring back Stu, vice versa. 50-50. I just think by doing this, it's this messy, ugly in-between where I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm still very, like, mixed on it. But I'm just like, I don't think I wanted Stu to come back. Even when Stu was in the film, I'm like, I don't trust this. Deepfake AI, all that stuff. I don't trust it. And then you get to the end, and they're like, it's me. And I'm like, oh, okay. The motive better be good, and then the motive's so bad that I just go, no. And I'm leaving the cinema, and I'm texting a mate, and he's like, should it have just been Stu? And I'm like, I kind of think maybe it should have just been Stu, which I never thought I would be that guy. Like, don't get me wrong. Stu and his giant tongue from the first movie, one of the most iconic characters of all time. I love Stu. I just wouldn't say I'm a Stu head. I'm not on Reddit being like, when's Stu coming back? Not that there's anything wrong with that, honestly. I love Scream. People who are passionate about Scream and Stu, amazing. Love it. But now I'm like, I think maybe you should have just fucking brought him back, man. Because at least the ending would have been something. And maybe I would have been like, oh, I'd be doing this review being like, so they brought Stu back, and I just think that undermines the first movie's ending, but at least it would be something. My issue with this one is that it is not anything. It is the worst motives, it's the worst reveal, they are the worst killers by a fucking landslide. You've got Stu and Billy right up at the top, then you've got Jill under there somewhere, then you've got the rest, who I don't hate, I like. You know, Timothy Olyphant, great hair, not so much in Scream 2, but generally speaking, great hair. And then somewhere real low, like just at the bottom of the screen, wherever that is, you got like Scream 6. And I didn't like that, where it's like, oh, the killers. The killers from 2 again. And you're like, oh, I thought Scream was a legacy sequel. Scream 1 again. Scream 6 is just Scream 2 again. Very Last Jedi to just rinse and repeat all these ideas and be like, the killers are the family members and they're sad because of the first movie. Uninspired, lazy, bad, and that third act falls apart. I thought 6 would be a low point where we'd never reach 6 again. 7 is so far down that like the camera couldn't be wide enough. Like I couldn't put the camera back further in my house to show how low 7 is with the killers and reveals in context, like on a grading scale. It's just so like, oh, I actually was so excited. I was like, this movie's awesome. And then the reveal happens and I'm just kind of like, wow. Wow. This was directed by the guy who wrote the original film. And he's like, this is an ending I can get behind. I want to make this my first film in the Scream franchise. And this is how I want to end it. And it's like, Yeah, oh boy, they must have thrown so much money at him. And I know it's just a desperate, like, just like grabbing parts from everywhere and trying to, Frankenstein a film together because of all the controversies with Melissa and Jenna Ortega leaving after that and all the stuff, the director's leaving. It's all just a new hobcobbled Frankenstein film. You'd still want it to have some kind of beating heart at the heart of it that isn't stupid. And of course they will say that that is Neve Campbell. And I say, yeah, mostly. But the whole film is about these killers pretending to be Stu, and then they go, twist, it's not Stu, it's fucking us. And you're just like, no. I don't know what you're thinking. You're kind of like, you didn't even mention the neighbor as a potential suspect. Because she wasn't. She was barely in the movie. And I understand that sometimes they can barely be in the movie, and that's like interesting and creative, where you're like, oh my god, she was kind of here, but not really. But it's so lifeless. It's so uninspired. It's just nothing. It's just not anything. Every other one, the motive was like something where you go, okay, interesting. Whereas this time, it's just nothing. And so, yeah, I'm left with this film being like, I suppose it should have been Stu. I don't know. That's the movie, I suppose. That's it. This should probably be the last Scream film. I suppose it probably won't be, but yeah, it's a strange Frankenstein of a film. It's a strange film. I think I loved it until the reveal. Like, I think I genuinely really, really loved it. But overall, very underwhelming, disappointing. And I suppose if I think about it, the orderly / doctor / nurse / janitor, whoever he was, guy that told us that Stu was 100% alive. If Stu wasn't alive, of course it had to be him. But it's just like, it's probably hard through my rambling rants of a half explanation of this spoilers and breakdown of this film. It's really hard to grasp how nothing that scene was, how unremarkable he was as a character. But just how nothing it felt when it was him. Like, it wasn't kind of like, of course, because he lied earlier and this, that. It's just like, oh, okay. And it's just like, it's almost hard to put into like clever words strung together like one might need to do for a review. But it's just such an emotional thing. Like, you just get an emotional feeling when someone takes the mask off and you just get, it's like a feeling of just, like, I think the best one for me was like when I first watched Scream 5, because I can't really remember the first three. I've always just known they're the killers. That's how long ago I saw those movies. But Scream 5, like when he takes it off and that line where he's like, yeah, it's a shame it's me. And I'm like, it's the boyfriend. Again, it's a legacy sequel. Of course it was the fucking boyfriend. I'm an idiot. And it just, the penny drops and you just go, yeah, yes. And even though the girl from Menorah or whatever that gets burnt alive again for the second time in that year, I think, even her reveal, you go, oh god, yeah, she was super creepy, of course. But here's one, that's what you want to feel, that kind of like, It's a proper reveal and revelation where you just go, yes. Whereas this one, you don't want the response to be like, who is that? And then go, yeah. Like, I'm paying attention, man. Like, I'm watching the movie. And then the next reveal, I have to admit, I did know it was going to be the mum. And I know I've barely mentioned her in the review. That's because she's not a character. The only reason I knew who it was going to be is because in the moment where there's the 3 kids left, the 3 friends, and they all get killed, I remember thinking, it's crazy. We started with like 9 people, and they're all dead. Everybody's dead. So many people died. And I just kept being like, who the fuck could it be? Like, the orderly doctor, nurse, janitor guy, I did not remember. So he wasn't even on my radar, obviously. But she was. And I was like, well, it has to be her. But then I kept being like, but like, what's the reason? And I go, right at the start of the film, the only thing she said in the movie is she's like, you've had trauma, I've had trauma, my husband sucked. And that's it. But the way that it plays out and her motive, and if you're like, what was her motive? I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand. I don't understand it. It's nothing. And it feels like it has nothing to do with like meta, film, like what Scream is about at its core, its soul that sets it apart from other slashers. This probably felt the most like a slasher film. And I know we're up to Scream 7, but it's disappointing. And I will stand by this. There is no bad Scream film. But I do think 6 is particularly disappointing, and I think this is probably equally disappointing, but I liked it a little bit more because Neve Campbell is a great character. I love Sidney Prescott. I love Neve Campbell. And so I really did enjoy that aspect of it. And that opening scene is fucking fire, man. I didn't mean to say it like that. It was not meant to be a fun pun on words. It's really good. It's a great short film, which I think the first and the second and the fourth all are. They're great short films. It's an incredible opening. I loved it so much. But yeah, I guess that is all my spoiler thoughts. And yeah, I'd love to know what people think. Big yays, big nays, or for the first time on the internet, a nuanced opinion. Just to show the pedanticness of my brain, anyone else glad that we're just back to like numbers? Because Scream 5 infuriatingly just called itself Scream. Again, the worst. But then Scream 6 was like, well, we're going to keep it all funky and fucking weird and just dumb, and we're doing a Star Wars now. And we're doing Roman numerals? Just like, okay. So Scream 7, for all its potential flaws, it at least has gone back to the tried and true, just it's a number. And I suppose we could argue, should the 7 have a little slash through the 7? I know some people don't like the slash. When I do a 7, I like to put the slash through. I feel like it's thematically appropriate to put a slash through the 7 for Scream, because of the knives. Yeah, if you've somehow got to the end of this big rambling review, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the YouTubey things, and most importantly, what did you think of Scream 7?